You don't necessarily need to have the high ticket offer, but if you have nothing to sell, chances are telling yourself that you're just going to figure it out along the way, it's not going to work.
I know that a lot of people approach you because they almost want to like launch a business with that summit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think that's what you told me where the big misconception is.
It is a not only a big misconception, but it is a big mistake to attempt and jump into a summit if you are just started. So what people are teaching is that it's a great way to launch your business because you're going to grow a list really fast. Here's the problem with that. If you don't know who your audience is, chances are you're going to be reaching out to random people to fill the seat and you're really just looking at the fancy numbers they told you, right? Reach out to, you need 25 speakers with 5,000 subscribers onto their email list. It's the magic number within the industry. Great. Those people could be all wrong. Okay, number one. Number two, if you are new to the industry, if you're new into starting a business and you haven't created those products, those sales, right? Those items where you can actually make money, creating a summit, it's a complete waste of time because it's not a little band-aid that you can put. Okay. It's not something, okay, I'm just going to throw a summit and figure it out. Absolutely not. A summit takes hundreds of hours. You're going to get into a whole bunch of tech, Facebook group, Zoom, editing, things that you have maybe not done yet because you're just starting and you are going to finish exhausted. Now, I say this as somebody has been behind the scene because I'm a giant nerd on probably over 100 summit. And what I see is even though I do 90% of everything, people are burnt out and they don't launch anything because they no longer have the mental capacity to do anything else after. They're like, holy shirt balls, I just created something that took everything out of me mentally, physically, emotionally, and I have nothing left.
That makes a lot of sense. That's how I felt when we did our first physical seminar. So we did our in-person event in Toronto, and I mean, I'm very fortunate because the bulk of the logistics lay on the shoulders of one of our team members. She did an amazing job. Like she put together a highly professional event and she never really done any kind of events before. So like it was amazing. I just had to show up and teach. But even then, it took me about 5 or 6 days of just actual recovery time where I couldn't work, I couldn't focus. I felt like my life juices were sucked out of me, and I just couldn't perform. And it's only because I've been at like a 2.5 day seminar. Like it's nothing. So I can only imagine the amount of effort, energy, and mental bandwidth that goes into putting together a summit. And I would assume you kind of want to consider whether it's something that you want to do. I guess if you have a plan on what's going to happen next, that's what I'm hearing is you're saying like once you've launched it, you really need to also have something that's going to happen afterwards, maybe other product launches or whatever, because now that you've got an audience, you need to monetize it. But if you're super tired afterwards and you just kind of let it sit, then what's the point?
Exactly. Now, you don't necessarily need to have the high ticket offer, but if you have nothing to sell, chances are telling yourself that you're just going to figure it out along the way, it's not going to work. Listen, a summit is a list building activity, but it is 100% a launch item. So if you're not launching, if you're not ready to launch, and I'm sure you know that when you're launching, that alone is an obstacle. It takes some time, right? So you need the landing page, you need the emails, you have a whole lot of marketing that goes around your launch. But a summit that is a standalone, is not as powerful as it could be if you had something to launch. And often when people don't have anything to launch after, the list goes cold. So now I have to do all of this work to build it back up again before the next launch when I am ready. And oftentimes what people are going to do, because again, they're new, they're told, well, just do another summit and then launch your product. You're just getting, you're extending all the time that timeline of you making money. You're basically procrastinating. That's exactly what you're doing when you're throwing a summit and you don't yet have a business. You're procrastinating.
I agree. I think if you don't have a quote unquote business, I think the first thing you need to look for or to create is an offer. You need to put together an offer that is attracting a certain type of client, and you offer a solution of a certain kind for a price. I mean, unless you have that first, you really don't have a business, because you're just working for free. And then, the whole purpose of a business is to make money, not just to, create jobs and whatnot. So I agree. I think it's just a really cool way to procrastinate, to avoid what really needs to be done, which is create a damn offer and work on optimizing your offer, right?
Yes, because when someone is told, okay, you need to create a summit, perfect. That's a 3-month timeline. Oh my gosh, I was just given 3 months to procrastinate because I have no idea what I'm doing, or I don't want to ask myself, the hard question. It is procrastinating, and that procrastination is costing you. Now, if I was to ask you, okay, if I gave you 100 hours, because it does take at least 100 hours to create a summit, and I say this from someone who can cut at least 100 hours on automation alone, okay? It is time consuming regardless. Now, if I gave you 100 hours, okay, so some of that, you're going to create a lead generation, a small offer, and you're going to create your offer. Yes, it's going to take time. But if I gave you 100 hours, how much do you think you can do working on your business, building your lead generation, building your email list, and building your sales? 100 hours.
Well, I can do a lot. I can record like a really cool VSL. Probably going to take me less than 12 hours to do it. I can start a bunch of ad campaigns. I mean, I can do a whole promo to my email list in just a couple of hours, load it up, and go to Mexico. I mean, I can think of many different ways to spend those 100 hours.
Right? If I was just getting started, I would create the most epic freebie anyone has ever seen. I would go into Facebook group, I would pitch myself on podcasts, and I would build my list. And at the end of the day, if you take that strategy, you're more likely, especially if you just get started, to end up with more sales, more people on your email list than if you ever created a summit.